What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist being joined by
Gersh1.
And once again, we're at it again to bring you guys more questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. Now, if you really enjoy the channel and you want to support these videos, hit us up with a super thanks. If you do, ask us a question because we will create a thumbnail question answer type of video in the next one. So you will lead the next Greater WAAAGH. And this comes from Warsmith Gauze. If the Emperor ever came back to do things, he would be weaker than he was before he died? Question mark.
So the thing about the Emperor coming back is that his death would cause a calamity, essentially. Yeah. The collapse of Terra to the point where it's probably going to be destroyed, since the portal to the webway that Magnus created is basically going to tear open again, and it's just going to be flooded by demons. There's already Gene Stealer infestation on Terra. It's just too much for the planet itself to take on. And not just that, but if the Emperor were to die, who knows how long his perpetuality takes for him to resurrect. Yeah. And we don't know if the Emperor is going to come back stronger, weaker, as a chaos god, or what.
And then if you look at the examples of the Primarchs coming back, so Guilliman and the Lion, when they came back, it's not so much that they were stronger either. Like the Lion is older.
Guilliman was weaker when he came back. Yeah. Because he needed that special suit that Belisarius made. Mm-hmm. That was basically life support. Yep. He doesn't need that anymore, but he's still powerful, but he wasn't like the strongest Primarch when it comes to fighting. Yep. Yeah, so there's that. And then you were going to say, what about the Lion?
Well, like even the Lion coming back, like he's older.
Right, because where Guilliman was in stasis, the Lion actually aged while he was sleeping.
And the Emperor was just on a throne. Mm-hmm. And not to mention that, like, when the Emperor went away, it was the Great Crusade, or towards the end of the Great Crusade, the Imperium was well more connected. Yeah. So he was relying on that system. The system's gone.
Right, there's a whole new system in place.
Yeah. So more than likely, the Emperor will continue to be on the Golden Throne forever.
And ever?
And ever.
And ever, ever?
Ever. Yeah.
Next question is by Kerry Vacht. It's widely considered that Horus's win would weaken the chaos and the warp. The decimation of humanity would be too much for chaos to come out on top. So did chaos force a confrontation between father and son, resulting in the Big E's ascension, or was it a gambit?
Gambit. And the reason for it is because all four chaos gods are constantly fighting with each other. They cannot negotiate. They cannot come to a consensus of how to deal with certain threats. And the Emperor might have tiptoed around that.
Yeah. So the thing is, all the chaos gods hate the Emperor. And they were all fueling Horus to kill the Emperor. So to them, I don't think it was a kill humanity. I think it was just kill the Emperor, and then we'll see what we can do with humanity.
Yeah. And then at the same time, I think sometimes we give humanity a little bit too much credit, as if the Emperor was this amazing superpower. He was. Yeah. In comparison to humans. But in the grand scheme of things, the chaos gods are not dealing with something that is out of the ordinary. Right? The old ones at their time were probably just as difficult to deal with. The Necron dynasties, all that kind of stuff.
Well, apparently back when the old ones and Necrons were around, the warp was tranquil. Well, it wasn't as chaotic as it currently is.
But time and space is nothing. True. So it's weird.
We're right and we're wrong.
Right. Next question comes from Grind121. Could you guys gush over the Emperor more, please? Also, do you think one of the grimdark twists of the Big E is that he'll ultimately lose his humanity? He already did.
Yeah, there's no way that the Emperor is any type of human, how we see and perceive humans, because the dude's been alive for a long time. Yeah. Dude's super smart. At that point, it's like a Dr. Manhattan type thing. Yeah. He sees humanity as just ants.
That, and even back when he was supposedly Alexander the Great, he lost his humanity back then. Who could you say is Alexander the Great other than Genghis Khan?
Right, because when you're living lives of so many different personalities, you start to lose yourself. And I think the Emperor's psyche kind of broke way back when.
His humanity has been lost.
Right. Sorry for not gushing over the Emperor.
At the end of the day, he is just an old man that can turn into a little girl and a dog. Next question.
This one's by Andrea Nechi. If you guys had to merge 2 gene seeds of 2 Primarchs to create your own super chapter, who would you merge?
Double cream pie. Let's think about that.
I've already got one locked in. The Blood Angels and the Thousand Suns.
Why?
Because you get the ferocity of like Blood Angels, and you get them going crazy and unleashing like psychic powers. So like we know how crazy and powerful they are when they fall to like the Red Thirst and the Black Rage. Now imagine that, but like they're buffed with like their own psychic abilities.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't even need to throw a squad of them. You could just throw one guy into like the fray, and you're gonna see like tornadoes of flame. He'd be able to like to suck blood out of everybody because you know, blood.
Warp-powered vampires, basically.
There you go.
Yeah. I think the theme will continue with the Thousand Suns, because I would choose the Thousand Suns and the Raven Guard. Just because, like, think about it. Sneaky space marines that can use warp powers to do what the Raven, what's his name? Corvus Corax does, which is Shadow Walk.
Shadow Walk, yeah. Giving everybody Shadow Walk, that's too OP.
That's that's why they would be badass.
Yeah, that's why the Thousand Suns always get murked on. Like, they should be winning hands down, but they're not.
Even though I think in 10th edition they're pretty good, aren't they?
Well, I mean, like, lore-wise.
Oh, but not in tabletop?
No, tabletop, they're usually pretty powerful.
Oh.
Yeah, but, like, lore-wise, it's like they should have beat up the freaking Space Wolves. Like,
yeah.
They're not just fighting them on equal playing field. They're literally able to, like, terraform worlds.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one's by Trontun. If you guys had to choose a civilian job, not a rogue trader, in 40K, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a really tough one.
I'd have to be in an agri world, just work in the fields.
Yeah.
That sounds the safest.
Yeah, that's true. I think agri world would be the same. It's safest, or like a feudal world.
Oh, yeah, because you got like knights and stuff like that to protect you. But you're probably a peasant.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the same as a peasant. You're just kind of like farming the fields, tending to the crops, eating gruel.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like the peasants of before the Renaissance did during the Dark Age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing I could see being a threat, like always, is the orcs. You're always going to have some feral orcs out there.
Or even just like the enemy within, corruption.
Yeah.
Somebody comes and tries to sell you Mary Kay, when in reality, it's Nurgle.
Yeah.
Or Slanesh. Next question.
This one is by the big one. Can you guys redo all your videos in Spanish, please? I got to show these to all my essays.
We could. I think that the Spanish market is missing 2 Hispanic people. I don't know.
I know what you're trying to say. But yeah, because like when you think 40K, a lot of people are usually from the UK or the US. Every now and then we'll get people be like, oh, I'm from Sweden, I'm from Poland. There's a few people that I've noticed are from like the Dominican, Puerto Rico, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it'd be cool to have like representation from Latino America, not just Spain.
Yeah.
Because like on Instagram, I think we follow a lot of Spanish accounts, and y'all cool, but you can't compete with Latino America.
Or can you? Prove us wrong.
Are they considered Latino America? They're not, right?
No, Latino America is like Argentina, Brazil, all that stuff.
Us. Next question comes from 0100011. Would you voice a character for the 40K film if asked?
It will be like unknown peasant number 42. And it'll just be like one line where we go,
oh, my leg!
No, that's too much.
If you could voice a character, what would you want to voice?
I think it'd be really awesome to do. Well, it'd be really awesome, but like the voice would definitely have to be changed. It would just be like some type of like Tau in a battle suit. Because I feel like when they're in there, you'll hear like a digitalized version of it.
Yeah.
So it'd be like T-Pain kind of auto-tuned.
Yeah. I think because I instantly thought, oh, orcs, maybe I'll like voice an orc. I don't have the voice to be an orc. I think I have the voice to be like a chapter serf. I'll be good as a chapter serf.
Perturabo, your gruel is here.
They don't eat.
Right.
Next question.
That's why you wouldn't be a serf. Because you're bad at it.
Yeah. Next question.
Sylvan Gabriel. What do the races think about the Astronomicon? Do any of them also use it for their interstellar travel?
I'm sure like non-major factions do, but I think when it comes to like the Eldar, they're not cool with it. Right?
Yeah, because like the whole thing about the Astronomicon, it's basically a beacon to help guide Imperial ships. But there's got to be other Xenos that also use this beacon, because like it's just a warp signature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, why can't anybody use it?
Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't think I think they would have better technology, right? Like the Eldar or something like that.
Well, you would think, or they would have developed other technology, because like you could say, oh, the Imperium developed the way of the Bolter being the common thing, but then it's like, well, the Tau developed the pulse rifle, and it's like these two technologies are still equally devastating. It's just different paths.
Yeah.
So I think as the Astronomicon can be seen as like a blessing to humanity, there's probably other ways around that, such as like how Tyranids travel with like bending time and space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably something like that.
Yeah, true. Last question comes from Launch Texas into the Sun Forever 9551. What if the Emperor of Mankind got rabies?
Who let that raccoon in the Golden Throne Room?
Who? I heard rabies makes you scared of water.
Really?
Yeah. I saw it on a TikTok.
I think the Emperor's already scared of water.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you pour water on him, he'll just like decay faster.
So if he got rabies, I think you have to give him them 10 shots to the stomach, straight to the gut.
Body shots. I mean, he can't really do anything, right? He'll just froth at the mouth, but he'll still be interred on the Golden Throne.
Also, how did he get rabies in the first place? Why didn't the Adeptus Custodes kill that rat?
It was the Gershwin serf that got in the
Oh,
throne.
yeah.
Here's your gruel. It's actually rabies.
Can you infect somebody with rabies through eating?
I mean, you could try.
Rabies infested meat or gruel.
Would there even be rabies in the 40K universe? Because doesn't it like stem from like Terran animals? And like Terra's been like terramorphed and like reconquered and recolonized and all that.
Well, it's like the flu. I don't think that's ever going to go away. And I think same thing with rabies. Rabies like will carry, because there's animals on Earth even though it's the wasteland.
True.
Yeah, so. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out, and we'll talk mañana.
That's right. That means tomorrow. Be sure to keep these questions coming, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, super thanks or Patreon would be the way to help support us even more. It's been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.